Hi everybody, I'm Mr. G, the superintendent here at Foothill Christian School, and tonight we're going to take a virtual tour of our middle school and to help you learn a little bit more about how we do that here at Foothill. But a few housekeeping announcements here. So this is live stream, and with technology you never know how it's going to go. We could have some buffering issues. We did a trial run, it seemed to work pretty well. But if you get a lag or a buffering issue, just hang in there. It will probably catch up. And so now we have some people in the chat room standing by. If you have questions, feel free to type those out, put them in the chat room, and there'll be some people there to answer your questions. Okay. And so tonight in the audience, we have a lot of families who are currently in 5th grade at Foothill, and some who are 5th grade at other schools looking to into our program for their child for middle school. The reason we wanted to open up to the 5th grade families is because even though the kids are on campus here, a lot of times they don't know what happens upstairs in the junior high program. And so we felt it was good way to introduce our program, orientate people to it, and answer some questions. And so tonight we have some parents. They have children in the school, and they're going to kind of go on the tour with us, and we'll allow them to ask questions. I'll explain the program, and as we go through, hopefully it will give you a good feel for what Foothill has to offer to middle school students. I think it's kind of the apex of our program. I think we offer so much that it's an opportunity where the program really begins to broaden out, and it's pretty comprehensive, and I think it's a great program for kids. So let me introduce you to Ray and Jen Dilback. So thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Of course.
So first off, your daughter is going into middle school.
5th grade.
It's gotta feel like too soon. Like what happened?
Well, you know what? It was just yesterday. She was in preschool, and now.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed the video last night, walking through, the 3rd grade being downstairs. So it is exciting to see what comes on upstairs, the lockers and all. And I know there's a lot of excitement that they have, the kids have, about coming up here and learning all the new things in the curriculum that goes with it. So we're excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we're here in the junior high hallway, and so for new families, it's a lot longer than people realize. It's a nice program. The rooms there's different classrooms for each subject. There's a math room, a science room, a history, Bible, and the students rotate from class to class, just like a typical middle school. And there are 6 core subjects: English, math, history, science, Bible, and so there's 6 of those. And then there are 2 elective periods. And in the elective periods, gosh, there's probably about 15 different electives that your children would have to choose from. Some of them are strong academic reinforcement type, high school prep kind of classes. Some of them are the fine arts, and we're going to talk about some computers. And so there's a lot for the kids in the elective program. So I think that's the strength of the school. And the rooms are fairly close together, so students have about a 4-minute passing period. They shouldn't be late. So they should be able to get
I've been up here to the library with the little ones and seen the passing period. And it gets a little bit chaotic, and I didn't realize how long the hallway was until you just pointed it out.
Yeah, so it is. And you know what? I love walking the halls when the junior hires are passing class. It's a little dangerous because there's a lot of them, and like you said, chaotic. It's like walking through a gauntlet, but I love it. The kids are happy.
Well, hey,
they're smiling. Hey, Mr. G, how you doing? I say something to them, and they look you in the eye, and they say stuff to you too. They return the conversation. I think that's pretty impressive for middle schoolers. And so let's go through a couple of classrooms, and let's start here in our math program. So we're right by the door, so let's go on in. So we may not have the best camera angles for our crew, but this is Miss Stagel. Gloria Stagel is our math teacher. So she teaches she is the math department. So she teaches 6th grade math, 7th grade math, 8th grade math. And so talk to us a little bit about the math program, Miss Stagel, if you would.
Okay, Envision Mathematics is with Pearson. Realize, or Savas Realizes who they are now called. and it's a rigorous curriculum. It's strong, it's blended learning, it is, what else does it have? It has, it promotes problem-based solving, it promotes it's embedded with differentiated learning as well. So all those components make up this curriculum, and it prepares them very well for the next level and algebra, and as they move on to high school. It's a really, really good curriculum. It has a lot of terminology, and that helps them to understand word problems, which is a big weakness in a lot of the schools. So it's been really a wonderful curriculum, and it's really a strong one. Students learn not just facts, but they learn methods and how to solve problems. So it's a wonderful curriculum.
You know, Ms. Stagel, you were just telling me, I think today earlier, if I remember right, that some of our students were taking the entrance exams to the high school, right? And our program throughout the junior high is geared to set them up for success in high school. We like to say from here, you can go anywhere. And so you were telling me that the students had to take an entrance exam at the high schools, and so they were nervous about the math. So
Yes.
what did they tell you today?
Well, so we had some students taking the entrance exams to private high schools, and they're pretty tough. And they were really nervous, so we were reviewing before they took the exam, and half of them took it last week, and they were saying how easy it was. They were surprised at how easy it was, which I was surprised that they said that. And only one student said maybe, you know, a little bit in the middle for her, but overall she was really surprised that it was pretty easy. So that was the word to use, and I thought, okay, wait a minute. Easy, that was, you know, I was kind of stunned, but that's what they said. So the kids that were going up next, I reviewed with them today, and they felt really comfortable. We used a review test, and they were okay with it. They're going to come in tomorrow, and we'll review a little bit, but they really felt comfortable with what they were ready for, so they felt well prepared.
Yeah, and when you get into algebra and algebraic concepts, and it's in problem context, story problems, and so it's not like there's a formula, solve it. Kids can do that. It's a story problem. Set up the problem so you can come up with an answer to a real life maybe application, and so that's part of the challenge. And some kids, that's hard for them. It's abstract and it's a challenge. Ms. Stagel is amazing at connecting with kids, helping to kind of reduce some of that math anxiety some kids have. And then you do a math helps elective class, and so remember during the elective periods, some kids need a little extra reinforcement. You shouldn't have to go to Kumon or some other place to get help. She'll help them in the class time, but sometimes taking the math helps class is a great elective for the kids.
Yes, we do that on Fridays, and I'll give you an example. Because we have differentiated instruction, we have 2 6th grade classes, and our 6th grade class, the ones that maybe need some help, they've been coming in every Friday, and they've actually caught up to the other 6th grade class. Okay. So that was really a gift. I mean, honestly, I was stunned, but they're diligent, they come on Fridays, we review everything we've covered during the week, homework, or prepare for a test, and they're well prepared. So now I see this challenge between the 2 classes, like, trying to stay ahead and the other one's trying to catch up, which is really kind of fun. It's a little competition doesn't hurt. So it's been really good.
A couple things about that. So you're aware, but some new families new to our school or not, we have 2 classes for every grade level. So there's 2 6th grade, 2 7th, 2 8th. But you're talking in current distance learning to help classes on Fridays. But during this regular school year, we hope to be back to normal next year. Then the math is part of the elective program. They get that 4 days a week. So, right, is that right?
Yes, 4 days a week. Friday's the elective class. Friday's from around 8 till noon.
Right.
So I split up the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So they come in for about an hour. Right. So
that's in the current distance learning program. But
and this elective would count for one of the 2 that they would get.
Yes, one of the 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good. Well, let's move it. Thank you, Ms. Stagel.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah. So during the normal course of things, it would be 4 days a week in the elective period. So that was one of the electives. Let's go into the music room. And we're a returning family, and people out there, a lot of them know you. I'm sure you've probably been in this room, but let's go in.
One of our favorites.
Yeah. So come on over this side. So in this room, okay, your children know from 3rd to 5th grade, they're in a music track. They're either in band, orchestra, or straight. Do your kids play an instrument?
Yes, cello.
Cello, okay, great. So we like that. So about, a lot of our kids, 75% of our 3rd through 5th graders play instruments. That's awesome. When they get to middle school, the music classes become elective. Okay, they don't have to take 3rd through 5th grade, they have to take it.
Right, okay.
But for some kids, like, we're done, Mr. T. It's not my thing. But for other kids, it is their thing. And so it continues here in those same courses, okay? And so they can take orchestra and band and those types of things. So this is the room where most of that happens. Orchestra has other rooms that they perform in or practice in because this is a very busy room. So basic music, drumline happens here. And drumline is as an elective. So when we first started offering it, kids were discovering, hey, I'm good at this, I like this. And some of them went on and that became their thing in high school and beyond. So it's kind of cool to see that happen.
Yeah, and as we've grown through the school, right, we saw a big change from 4th to 5th in terms of the music and the arts and the engagement and how much all of them, both of our children, have blossomed in all of those extracurricular type activities.
Yeah, thank you. That's, I think, the strength of our junior high program especially. So what was available to you at some level in the elementary, I think goes increases at the middle school. And we'll talk about theater later, but basically this is the music classroom here in drumline. And they can still take private piano lessons or private violin or cello lessons. But the typical program is just part of what we do with no extra charge. We do private lessons.
But to that point, there's no more pull-out, right? Because we had where Mr. Cole would take Robert out in the pull-out in the early for his piano lessons. But this with this elective being part of the curriculum, the private lessons would be
And, okay, so in the middle school, they tend to give the private students first choice. Because you can't pull them out if they want private lessons, right? So they can't, you don't want to pull them out of a 48-minute math class. And then all the classes are important. And then they have the elective classes, so that they don't want to miss that. So we tend to give them the prime spots for before and after school. So that's
I see that.
Yeah. If it's private lessons, And this is our science stuff. Let's go ahead. We won't spend a lot of time in here, but you're good, Dad. Wait, these are protective glasses.
I like it.
We put these shields up. Should we come back in person instruction, we've got these shields to help. But this is our science lab, and so one thing I want to say about in here, we do a lot of labs. We even had some augmented reality labs that the kids will do with the iPads. But we have digital microscopes. So if the child is looking at a slide, and then maybe they have a lab partner, well, they don't have that eyepiece. It has that LED display, and so they can just pivot. Hey, what do you think of this? And you look at this, and if they get, let's say, a good specimen on their slide deck, the teacher said, "Wow, that's really good," because it's digital. They'll say, "Hey, push that up through the projection unit, and let's all look at that." And then the teacher uses that to teach the kids about, look, this is a perfect, example of whatever. And then it makes for good learning.
I want to go back to 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I know your kids like science.
Oh, my children love science. They eat this up.
The one thing I want to say too is that there is a science fair in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So the kids actually have to conduct an experiment. And so sometimes the science programs, they will do projects, and so it's more information boards and habitats or whatever it might be. But here they have to actually develop the hypothesis, they've got to test it, and they have to show that. And we tend to compete with other schools at some science fairs. Some years it doesn't line up with our schedule, but we try to make that happen. And, so it's great science.
It's a great experience, in preparation for what they're going to experience in high school.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just passed, we were in the math class, we just passed the English class, there's science. This is Bible. and history. But let's go into the library first, because the lights are off in the computer. How do you get those on? And you're on a sensor, and sometimes that sensor.
Gotcha, right.
Sometimes you have to do a workout to get the lights on. So most of our families know about the library.
Yeah,
so
this is the one spot up here I've been.
Talk to us about your experience using the library.
Actually, Grandma is the one who always came with
really?
the kids and did the library, but both children are quite familiar, love it to death. And Mrs. Douglas is always right there for them to give them exactly what it is that they're looking for.
Right.
Walking in here, though, the one question I did have for you was about reading counts.
Oh.
And how that transitions into junior high.
Okay, great question about reading counts. Now, for some families that are new, they may be in a school that has accelerated reader. We have scholastic reader counts. Same program, you read books at your Lexile level and take comprehension tests. Now in first through fifth, that's a big part of their program, and the kids have to read a lot to get points. In the middle school, it's less emphasis on the scholastic reader, not on reading, okay, but that they're reading novels in the classroom, and the teacher's helping them with symbolism, critical analysis of literature. They're working on symbolism and foreshadowing and mood, and so they're reading the same novels, and they're beginning to really dive into the deeper understanding of classic literature. And then to read, we still want to encourage reading, and so they will have some points that they have to get, but it's not quite as much. But the books are bigger now. So good question. So it's still part of it, but not a major part, because we're doing a lot in the classrooms with that. And we didn't go into the language arts class, but the writing piece, they even will learn the college style format for research papers. The teacher helps them, guides them through it, kids do the work, and then so every year they're doing a research paper, and so it becomes very familiar to them. When they get to high school, that's very important. They're ready. And so it's open before and after school typically for some of those tests, and that's still true even at the middle school.
Yeah, and to your first question, and my few experiences of coming up was to bring the kids up to do the reading counts test.
Right.
It was always nice and easy in terms, point Miss Douglas made it easy. I just followed the kids. They had it all worked out for the kids, so apparently they're comfortable with it, and it's easy to use, so they've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Our kids have really made good use of it.
Miss Douglas has been with us for like 20-some years, and so she really has built up a strong library. We have connections with the Glendora Public Library. Even the library director, some of the directors there will come out and help our kids learn how to access the Glendora Public Library and materials. And so it's a great partnership there. Yeah. Well, let's go to the computer. Yeah. I'm sorry.
This is another one of my favorite rooms.
Okay, why is it your favorite room, or what's your experience here?
Advancement is what this room makes me think of. And then, of course, everything that I've seen on social media about the robotics club.
Yeah.
And both of my children very much enjoy screen time, and so we like to use it the best way possible. So knowing that there is the opportunity to grow into that and to do something more. I've heard it mentioned Minecraft, right? Architecting through Minecraft, and
that's one of our
Robert
classes.
Only, going into 3rd grade, he just jumped for joy, being something so excited for him to look forward to.
Yeah. So some of the elective classes would be that studying architecture through Minecraft. We have a coding and a robotics class. Our coding class is also there's a club, and next year I think we have 3 parts of the club. They're going to 3 competition teams, and so they're doing very well in the West Coast competitions. Last year they finished 4th. This year they qualified for the 32 school bracket. They won the first round, and you kind of work through like the NCAA basketball tournament. They worked through, and then they got bumped out of the bracket. But it's pretty exciting, you know. And so, yeah, and we have a 3D printer, so the kids will get the chance to experience with that. We got drones, so they'll have experience with that. And then so there's a lot happens in here.
How many teachers do we have for teaching computers?
There's mainly one teacher, Miss Heminger, but our science teacher does a class on, it's called like You Too Can Create, and they're actually, the kids are making an app. And so maybe that didn't come out, it's kind of hard to hear through the mask, so the kids make an app. And so another teacher teaches that. So she used to be our computer teacher, then she went into science, and so she's got a lot of skills there. So, yeah. If Ms. Heminger were here tonight, she would tell you more. She's so passionate about it, and she's taken it to a whole nother level. And let me say this, I think our parents know this, but if they're new out there, every child's gifted at something, right? And we want to have a program that helps kids find what they're good at, and then nurture that and watch it grow. Now, not everybody's going to be a coder, but some will be. And we want to have a program that puts them on a trajectory that inspires them and helps them get ready for the next level. And that's true in music, that's true in, maybe they're going to be an author, you know. So all those programs have greater implications than just, you know, taking a class and passing it for a grade. You just don't know what's going to kind of get inside, that seed that's planted, and the child takes an interest. Just from here you can go anywhere. And so you never know how that will inspire a child.
Well, the way you're describing 6 through 8 really sounds very much like it falls in line with discovering the genius within, as we've talked about over, you know, the many years. This is the opportunity to touch and feel and really learn about the different opportunities before they get to high school.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So there's also some music classes that are on computers. We're walking out. That would be like, what do they call that? Anyway, where they're creating music on the iPads. Yeah. And that You Too Can Create has a music element to it if students want to go in that direction.
Oh, yeah, nice.
A lot of people know this, but we had a student that created an app and was offered a lot of money from, I think it was Major League Baseball, to buy the app. And my understanding is he said no. So I don't know what's happening with that, what he's doing with it. I don't know if that was a good decision in the end or not. Anyway, this is Jacob Gaines. Jacob, this is Ray, Jen Gilbert. And Mr. Gaines is our 8th grade Bible teacher. He's our Faith in Action coordinator, chapel. He works with chapels and also does our missions trip. So talk to us a little about Bible in the middle school.
Junior high, sure. Yeah, in our middle school, obviously starting in 6th grade, we've created a curriculum that pretty much teaches through the entire Bible over the course of 3 years. So it's a scope and sequence. We start, of course, in the book of Genesis in 6th grade, and we teach through the first 5 or 6 books. And then in 7th grade, we finish the Old Testament. And then in 8th grade, we're spending our entire year right now teaching through the New Testament, the Gospels, life of Jesus, Paul's letters. And by May or June, we'll end up finishing the Bible in Revelation. So a student that starts with us in 6th grade, by the time they get through 8th grade, will have studied through the entire Bible.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
It is really
phenomenal.
Yeah. And we're standing in front, I'm going to move over this way.
Yeah.
We're standing in front of this wall. It has pictures of our kids in the Dominican Republic. So talk to us about that. That's an 8th grade trip. There are other Faith in Action projects, but talk about this, Dave.
Yeah, sure. You're seeing on this wall, it's our some of our Faith in Action projects, and some of these are currently ongoing, although this year we're taking a bit of a pause for obvious reasons. We were just talking about this, we would have been in the Dominican Republic tonight, coming back tomorrow in any normal year. And so you're seeing pictures here of our 8th grade students at the Manny Motive Foundation. We've partnered with the Motive family and their foundation since 2008. And so it's been a wonderful partnership. We get to go take our 8th graders who want to every year. They do a whole lot of things, from a feeding program there, working with some of the local Christian schools, giving away some of our younger grades, like you can see some flip-flops here, and if you can tell what those are, collect shoes and flip-flops, and we send over thousands of pairs each year that we're able to put on the feet of some of these children. And so that's been an ongoing project that we've done now for over a decade, we've taken over 300 students over the course of the last 12 years, and it's been a phenomenal opportunity. And there's some other things here. We've done some work in the Navajo Nation. This is actually a student painting a house on the Navajo, in the Navajo Nation in northwestern Arizona. We've been involved in Skid Row with Union Rescue Mission for years. Over the course of time, seasons change. We get to do different things. Been in San Francisco with our 7th graders, working with YWAM there for a couple of years. So our students in junior high have a lot of opportunities to put their faith in action and get involved in the community and around the world.
I think that's important because they're making a difference. It's not just a lecture in a classroom, they're actually out there doing something, and it has a bigger impact. And when the kids go to DR, they learn a couple things. One, I didn't mention this, but Spanish is a core subject in our middle school. So they'll be getting Spanish. And when they go to DR, one of the things they learn is they know more Spanish than they thought they did. Sure. But they come back really wanting to learn more because they realize there was still a communication gap. So they're really eager to learn. And when they go to high school, by the way, a lot of them just go right into Spanish too. And then the goal is for them to become bilingual. But the main thing they learn is it's more blessed to give than to receive. You can't tell a 13-year-old that. They have to experience it. And we see that time and time again. I had a mom, I'll be real quick here. We had a mom, we send 2 groups usually, one Thanksgiving, one after the New Year's. And so her mom said, it's come time for Christmas. Honey, I need your Christmas list. And she kept, asking her, and the daughter didn't give it to her. Finally, I need to go shopping for you. What do you want for Christmas? And so she said, Mom, I don't need anything. I got an iPad, I got this, I got that. The kids in the DR don't even have shoes. And the interesting thing about that girl was the last thing she did before she got on the bus to start to go to the airport to come home, she took off her 90s and she gave it to a friend that she made. Now, she had flip-flops in her backpack, but that was the last thing she did. So the mom said, Mr. G, it's priceless.
Yeah.
And so those are the kinds of things that serving does for kids. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Any questions at all about anything related to that?
No, I just wish we knew we could be back on and doing it more.
Yeah,
I've had a little bit of exposure because we've known some people, some friends that had some older kids that have come through, and we've heard great things. And from the parents, just a lot of what you're mentioning, just phenomenal. Not the normal trip, not the normal summer camp experience type thing. It was life-changing type things is what we've heard.
And we do chapel in the gym, and so there's good worship. It's very lively. The kids are engaged, and so once a week they have chapel, just like they do in the elementary, but it's just 6th through 8th grade. So they have their own follow-up.
Yeah, we've been blessed in recent years. Even Foothill Church, some of the worship leaders there have joined us and have committed to being a part of our chapel program on weekdays, and so that's been a huge help. And they've just done a phenomenal job helping our children learn how to worship. So
yeah, the chapel program is one of our kids' favorite things to do, and so they have missed that, of course, being remote. But both of them, we always know when they've had chapel because one of them's singing at the top of their lungs.
That's great.
When they get
I
home.
love your kids. They got a lot of energy. Well, let's head over. We're going to head over to the gym.
Thank you.
We're going through the kind of the locker area here. By the way, we do have our student success team coordinator, our intervention specialist. There are services available to middle school kids who struggle. Often it's not reading. They struggle with math, we'll get them help with the math teacher. But if the junior high is going to struggle, sometimes they don't have the executive function skills, meaning they don't have the organization skills. They do their homework, but they don't know where they put it. And so she will help them get ready for tests, take notes, and all those kinds of things to support their learning.
Yeah, everything that you are describing and have described, along the way has all been about preparation, right?
Yes.
So when you come in, the experience from 3rd to 4th to 5th was all about preparing, right? And responsibility and preparing for 6th grade. And now they've gotten to 6th, and now we're still preparing them to go off to high school so that they've got all the tools. So that's wonderful to know that the student success team is there for the junior high as well.
And I think the philosophy of some of our junior high teachers would be, we don't teach students, we build students. So I think that's a good thing. They've got to learn the skills that support learning. So we're going to move to the gym. We'll talk about sports, theater, but I just want to say to our audience, sometimes we have a little buffering problem as we go from building to the next. There's not always access points. So if we lose you, stay tuned. It will catch up. Okay. So you guys know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice night.
Yeah, beat this weather.
Thank you.
No, it's January, 65 degrees, walking around at night.
So we're heading over to the gym. Our returning families know about this Peter Pan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
our family, Colin Gaspari, we are
Right.
family members, so to
What?
watch him be up there.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
I didn't- yeah.
You guys are related?
We're gonna start that all over. We lost all of it from Hans'
Okay.
room.
All right. Tell me when.
So,
Go back over here.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Good. Okay. All right. So we might have had a buffering problem, so we're going to start over. Here we are in our gymnasium, and it's really a multi-purpose room, okay, an auditorium. So in here we have our sports and PE. PE is also an elective. Kids have to take a PE class at least 2 of the 3 trimesters. Now, if they play on a sports team or karate, they can get credit for that outside, so that would count as well. But the sports we offer for girls are volleyball, basketball, soccer, softball, track and field. For boys, flag football, basketball, boys volleyball, which is very popular, and then track and field with that as well. And so a lot of chapel happens in here, and we set up the stage for worship and all those kinds of things. But you see the stage behind us. So this is also where our theater productions happen. So let's invite Jen Robinson in. You know her.
Yeah. Hi.
Jen is our theater director, and Mr. Gaines, I think, has been here, he said 17 years. How long have you been here?
16.
16. Mrs. Knight has been with us at least 15 years, our orchestra director. And so these are quality programs for us. These are signature programs for our school, and they're really, really good. You know that. Yeah. But they're good because we've got people like Jen who are fabulous, and they stuck around. They're still here building the program, and that's just immensely important for our school. So what did you say your favorite?
Peter Pan.
You like Peter Pan?
Yes, we like Peter Pan, which I think was last year.
Uh-huh.
2 years.
2 years ago.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, good Lord.
Last year was Little Mermaid.
Little
Oh,
Mermaid.
yes.
And
What was your-
Madagascar would have been how?
Madagascar.
That was
Yeah.
one. I
Yeah.
really like that.
Yeah. So there's been some really, really good theater productions. Beauty and the Beast, Shrek. Shrek was fantastic. So talk to us a little bit how that works for kids who are interested in the theater program.
Well, you can do a little bit of theater or you could do a lot of theater. So basically when they come in like 6th grade, they might want to take a drama class, or they might want to be in the gala production performance group, which is, we do musical theater and acting, and then they can audition for the big spring musical or winter musical that you were talking about. That's always a big, huge production. And then we always do some fun one-acts and monologues and just training. And then by 7th and 8th grade, they can decide if they want to join our Thespian Society, which is an international society. It's like an honor society. So some kids choose to do a little bit and be in some things, and others, I have them from day one, and they're in every
That's the
trimester
thing.
till they graduate. And by that point, they've gone to festivals in state. We do like California State Thespian festivals, and then we do a competition and a festival in Sacramento that's led by Broadway performers and directors. So there's like a whole spectrum, and some kids really do all of it, and then I have a lot that just, they want to play basketball, and then they want to do some drama or music, so.
Right. So we try not to
Yeah.
put students in a forced choice situation where it's like, oh, this or that. Because in high school, it's going to be this or that. But here we try to be flexible with that so the kids can do more than just one thing. That's how they try it out. I'm going to brag on it. So I know the last couple of years that we went to the Thespians conference with our kids up in Sacramento. Thousands of kids, 1,500 kids. It's also our kids usually get win awards there. So I'll let you tell me about them.
We have thespian festivals, which is a school festival, but the Junior Theater Festival in Sacramento, it's actually just a big, you can have dance studios can compete. So like big companies you see on Dance Moms will be there with their troops and stuff. So it goes by like age groups. So we go in with everybody the exact same age, but they could be a professional dance troupe or anything. And then, so we've won awards each year. Usually we haven't won the dance award because we're competing against like professional dancers, although we do have professional choreographers work with us. But we've won the vocal part of it. We've won the acting part. So it's exciting to get a trophy there because there's 2,000 to 3,000 kids all cheering, and only a few in your category.
So if you win the award, they call you back for the final production, and all the winners get to perform their thing in front of everybody. And they cheer them and support them. And so this is what I was telling you: if theater is your thing, there's a program. Some of our kids, no joke, some of them are in commercials, some of them are in regular TV shows, but a lot of them who this is their thing, they'll go to the high school at the CS Arts. There's one in Dwardy, and if that's their thing, it has a lot of appeal to them. But they're very entertaining. They're very entertaining. Yeah. So and that's an elective class too. So sometimes when it's the high season, when they're doing the main production, it's 2 electives. So during I think usually the middle trimester, they're both because they need all hands on deck. They need more time. So, but that's okay. It works out good. For that.
Sailor choir, that's the one thing I've not heard the whole time. Are Sailor choir coming back next year?
Yes, we plan to
on
have
campus,
this.
of course.
Yes, definitely.
That's 3rd through 5th grade.
Yes.
So yes, we definitely. They're just not singing right now, but they will be back full force.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But that is elementary choir.
Oh, the Sailor choir is elementary.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But she does the first trimester. You do a lot of Broadway show tunes, sometimes that kind of thing. So there's opportunities, but that tends to be choreographed singing and performance that way, kind of like you've seen some of the things that our galas that they've done.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of the Sailor kids will go into the performance choir, or it's like show choir.
Okay. Thank you.
So, do you have any other questions you think about next year? We hope to be back in a normal kind of setting. Is there anything? I mean, you know a lot about the school already because your kids have been here since kindergarten, or preschool.
Yeah.
Anything?
I actually don't. I've been quite vocal along the way, and so I've been able to get everything answered. And I was actually quite surprised at how big the junior high curriculum is.
Yeah.
And it is, as a parent, knowing what we're doing right now in 5th grade, feeling it from 6th, going, okay, there's a lot of gearing up we're going to need to do to be able to get ready for it.
And the teachers know that the kids, when they come up, those 6th graders, they just seem so young at first, and they're patient with them, and they help develop their academic muscles. But let's talk about homework, because when you're in an elementary school, 5th grade, you got 2 teachers, and so they can collaborate and they can together monitor the homework load. But now you go upstairs in the middle school, you got 7 different teachers, and each one thinks their subject is the most important subject in the world, and so there's a risk that the homework could be overwhelming. And so we try to be balanced. There's going to be some homework. Sometimes they'll give the kids a chance to start on it in their classroom. Some kids will take, as an elective, they'll take a study hall. And when we first offered the study hall, who wants a study hall? I'll tell you who wants a study hall. The athletes who have after-school sports, the theater kids who have other commitments, and the parents. You get in the study hall, I want you to get that homework done, or at least started on it. Now, we try not to overwhelm the kids. We try to be balanced. And so we believe that quality is better than quantity. And we will do a survey a little bit once we start getting into, let's say, okay, this should now be the regular dose of experience of homework. We'll do a survey. We'll ask parents, how long does it take in your child? And then we look at that. And so we basically, if it's taking, we're seeing it's taking more time, we kind of do a self-analysis and that kind of thing. And so we make sure we're not going to overload the kids. We try not to put too many tests on the same day, because otherwise now you got homework and you got 2 tests the next day. Well, that adds to pressure. The kids are up late. We don't want kids crying and you guys get into arguments over what they should be doing. So over the years, we've kind of refined that. And I think we've got a good niche when it comes to the academic load, right? Because we don't want it to become so burdensome that they end up hating school or they're in tears. So I think we have a good spot.
So to that point, then, let's say forbid, we're still in this same situation going forward next year, and they're transitioning from 1 or 2 teachers to 6 plus teachers, and trying to navigate that. How did you guys handle that this year, and how did you see how that impacted them with that, especially that 6th grade transition?
Yeah, well, because the 5th grade, they have 2 different teachers, that's why we did it, because now they're saying, okay, I got 2 different teachers, I got to be responsible to get my books and my homework and my assignments to each place, and I've got now 2 people telling me, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. So that's why we did it, as a kind of a baby step to get ready, and the teachers know. They're in fact, some people say, what's the strength of your school? And they might say, oh, it's theater, it's orchestra, it's the mission trip. The fact of it is, our teachers are the strength of the school. I agree 100%. Yeah, and so they know kids. And they have just, over time with their experience, they just have a program that helps them get ready. So they ramp up, right? So they're not going to overwhelm. So they're in tune. Not like a crash course kind of thing. Well, like even when they go upstairs, passing classes and get to the locker, they give them extra time at the beginning, because a child can't even remember his locker combination because he's so nervous about getting this. So it's all part of it. And let me say something real quick. And I know we're going a little bit long, but the middle school years are so important. And I think through elementary school, I would say to the moms tend to be the overseers of the education. Dads sometimes are a little more hands-off. Not always, but that's kind of typical. And but so when they get into middle school, hormones, they got a foot in childhood, and they got a foot in adulthood, and hormones are going, and it can be challenging sometimes. What I tell moms is, back off. Give them space. Don't hover. You can see without putting extra pressure on them what they need and care for them. And I say to the dads, moms, back off. Dads, step up. Because you have a daughter, and in those middle school years, they look around, these self-esteem questions. Am I pretty? Am I smart? Am I likable? These kinds of things. And they'll need that affirmation from dad. And sometimes it's awkward, because they're awkward. Like, what do I do with this? Who took over my child's body? Who is this person that used to be in my house? So they need you to affirm their personhood, their beauty, their worth. And that is a huge gift that you can give them. So I'd like to say that. I mean, you'll partner together, make sure they're doing things, but right and well, you set standards. And so now you got to let them kind of try it out a little bit. Yeah. And I think we love middle schoolers. I think they're a great age, a lot of fun. Some people say, oh, middle schoolers, And I do tease the teachers, because I said that's the strength of our school. They're as zany as the kids. And I think they're a great match, Maybe that's why they like teaching middle school too, And so anyway, very proud of our staff, very proud of our programs. And truthfully, I can't think of a better program around. I really can't. And being in an environment, Christian environment, where your kids have good morals, good values, their kids, they still have some innocence in their lives. What's happening in some campuses across America at the middle school is it's what used to be on campuses at high school. And while kids are at a young age developing their faith, their morals, it's not moms anymore, or just dads. They say, what do I believe? They're at that age. And so this is the time to be in an environment like Foothill, I think, is absolutely critical. So, yeah. So anyway, that kind of concludes our tour. So it's enrollment time. So as a returning family, you would go to the admissions page on our website, and you click, returning student or family, and then you just go ahead. I think the forms are all pre-populated. Edit those, and then there's a re-enrollment fee. If you're a new family out there, you would have to go to the website and click on new student, And there's a two-step process. One is you have to fill out an application. It's kind of like a university model. You fill out the application, submit all the documents, we review all that. There would be an invitation to test, okay? And so we would do the assessment, and then at that point, then if everything seemed right, I would be a good fit, then there would be an invitation to enroll. And so the testing date is March 6th, but for you guys, you won't need to do that, okay? So we're good with that. So I think that concludes our tour, and I hope it's been helpful to you.
Very,
Good.
very.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
love you guys. We love your
Thank
family.
you.
And hopefully it's been helpful to you who are watching at home. Okay? Have a great night. Thank you.